Hello and good day. It's the start of a new month, December, which means that the Junior Eurovision Song Contest is right around the corner. Because on the 11th of December, the 20th edition of the Junior Eurovision Song Contest will take place in Yerevan in Armenia, which is the second time that Armenia has ever hosted a Eurovision event. The last time Armenia hosted the Junior Eurovision Song Contest was in 2011, and now they're doing it again after winning for the second time. The contest is hosted by ex-Junior Eurovision entrant Karina Ignat, the songwriter of the 2014 entry of the Adult Eurovision Song Contest, Not Alone by Adam MP3, Garik Papoyan, and the representative of Armenia in 2016, Iveta Mokuchan. She represented Armenia with Love Wave and ended on the 7th place. And honestly, I don't know why, but I have this gut feeling that Iveta hosting the Junior Eurovision Song Contest isn't just, kind of random. For some reason, I have a feeling that Iveta will represent Armenia again in the Eurovision Song Contest in the near future. She's also showed interest in going to Eurovision again, so I kind of feel like this isn't just Iveta hosting Junior Eurovision. I'm not sure if this is actually the case, but I kind of have this gut feeling that we will possibly see her in the near future on the Eurovision stage again, which I would love to see. Anyway, let's move on to what this video is about, which is my personal top 16. I want to put a little disclaimer here that I am obviously not the demographic for the Junior Eurovision Song Contest anymore. I'm mostly just watching it because it's a Eurovision event, and I also, of course, used to follow it way more closely as a kid, so it's also kind of a nostalgia thing. And honestly, the music quality has improved a lot, changed a lot in the last few years, I guess, which is also fun to see in my opinion. Anyway, let's start with the 16th place, which is where I put Albania. I'm starting with Albania not because I myself dislike the song, but because I feel like Albania is often very underappreciated in the Junior Eurovision Song Contest, and I'm not too sure that a song like this will score that well in the Junior Eurovision edition, even though I would love to see Albania do better than ending up on the last place. On the 15th place, I've got Portugal. It kind of seems like Portugal has some kind of time machine, because last year Portugal's entry was sung by a kid who seemed like he time traveled from the 1920s to Junior Eurovision 2021, and this year they're sending an entry about a kid singing about the 70s, well actually about how he should have been born in the 70s, which is an original point of view for a song, especially a Junior Eurovision song in my opinion. He also has a really distinct voice. I think it's pretty cool that at such a young age, this kid has already dived so much into this one particular genre that he has this really fitting voice for this specific genre, if you know what I mean. It's not the typical voice you would expect at a Junior Eurovision Song Contest, if you get what I mean. So I think that's pretty cool, but I'm not too sure if the Junior Eurovision demographic will also appreciate it that much. Though I gotta say that last year I also didn't really expect Portugal to end up that high, and they ended up higher than I expected them to, so maybe that'll happen this year as well. On the 14th place, I've got Malta. Malta's entry seems pretty fun, and maybe with the right staging it can end up higher than 14th. But right now, purely basing it on the song, for me, I'm putting Malta on the 14th place. On the 13th place, I've got Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is the only country that's participating in Junior Eurovision this year that has never participated in the Adult Eurovision Song Contest before. Though Kazakhstan usually scores really well in Junior Eurovision. I mean, they've never ended up outside of the top 10, which is, a great track record to have as a country in a Eurovision event. And I think it's possible again that this year Kazakhstan will end up in the top 10. But for me personally, I'm putting it on the 13th place, but I do think that that's the lowest place that Kazakhstan could get this year. It's either 13th place or higher than that. I don't think they'll score lower than the 13th place. On the 12th place, I've got Serbia. I think Serbia's entry this year is cute and fun, and I also really like the fact that the trombone is featured so prominently in this song and the music video, because playing the trombone is one of Katarina's hobbies, which really gives it that personality to this song, which I like. I hope it'll end up higher than 12th place, but because this year is a really strong year, I think, and the competition is really high, I'm not too sure how well it will do, but I do hope that Serbia will end up higher than the 12th place, because I think this is a really cute entry. Then on the 11th place, I've got Ireland. Ireland is one of the countries this year of which I'm like, I would really like to see them send something like this to the adult Eurovision Song Contest. I do think that maybe the demographic of the Junior Eurovision Song Contest won't really appreciate Ireland's entry this year, but I hope they'll end up higher than 11th. Like, I think Ireland deserves a place in the top 10, but I'm not too sure if they will, you know? Okay, so now we're entering the top 10, and on the 10th place, I've got Italy. Italy is sending a song to Junior Eurovision this year, which I think really fits the Junior Eurovision spirit. It feels like a song with this like careless vibe, which is also a feel-good song. It's catchy. Though I'm not too sure how well Italy will do this year, I feel like a top 10 result does not sound unrealistic. On the 9th place, I've got Poland. Poland seems to have found some kind of formula for Junior Eurovision, which is great for their results. But it also kind of feels like Poland is sending similar entries every year to Junior Eurovision, which I don't think will have any influence on their results. But for me personally, I'm putting it on the 9th place because of that, because I kind of feel like sometimes the entries of Poland in Junior Eurovision are kind of similar sounding, you know? I think Poland can end up higher than the 9th place this year, but that's why I personally am putting Poland on the 9th place this year. Then on the 8th place, I've got France. France is one of the powerhouses of Junior Eurovision. Ever since their return in 2018, they're sending good and fitting songs to the Junior Eurovision Song Contest, in my opinion. Oh Maman is a catchy song, sometimes a bit repetitive, but I feel like if Lisandro performs really well and the staging is also well executed, France can end up higher than the 8th place, but I definitely think that France will end up on the left-hand side of the scoreboard. Then on the 7th place, I've got North Macedonia. I had my life. In my opinion, North Macedonia is also one of the countries that's really sending a fitting song to the Junior Eurovision Song Contest, which fits the Junior Eurovision spirit and demographic, with lyrics like, I have my life ahead of me, every new day is perfect to me, I'll save love for another time. I think those are lyrics that are appropriate for a kids show, you know, because it's kind of fits the time of the life that most people watching this show and participating in the show are in. So I think that's fun, and it also sounds a bit careless. It has this careless vibe, in my opinion, and it sounds happy and catchy. It's a feel-good song, which I think is nice for a Junior Eurovision entry. Then on the 6th place, I've got Georgia. A lot of people seem to really like Georgia this year, and even though I don't really feel the same hype, I definitely do not dislike Georgia's entry this year. I feel like it's a pretty mature entry, which could do well. I mean, Georgia is one of the powerhouses of Junior Eurovision. They've got the most victories, and the second time they won Junior Eurovision was also in Armenia. Will history repeat itself? Maybe. I gotta be honest, I'm still not sure if I can see Georgia end up in the top 3. But then again, neither did I think that back in 2016 when they won for the last time. So I guess we'll have to wait for the staging. Okay, then entering the top 5. On the 5th place, I've got Ukraine. While I do think that Ukraine has a chance of winning this year, I don't think they have as big of a chance of winning this year as they did during the Eurovision Song Contest this year. And before other people saying that Ukraine will win no matter what this year because they're sending a song about the war again, will also come to the comment section underneath this video. First of all, that Eurovision entry wasn't about the war. Get your facts straight. Second of all, I know there are people that are like upset that they're sending a song that's more obviously about the war this year and that they shouldn't let a kid sing a song like this. I think it's very normal that a kid sings about her own experiences, especially during a time like this. I don't think that this entry is inappropriate or anything. I gotta say that Ukraine winning the Junior Eurovision Song Contest as well this year is not that obvious in my opinion, seeing that this song is a ballad. Ballads don't usually score that well in Junior Eurovision. Like, of course, there are exceptions, but overall, often the upbeat songs and happy songs do way better. Plus, this is a very strong year with a lot of competitive entries, and also people can vote for their own countries. So I feel since a lot of people already feel like Ukraine will win, they will maybe skip Ukraine and vote for other countries, including their own country. I think it's very realistic to say that Ukraine will end up in the top 5, but winning, I'm not too sure yet. Would I like to see Ukraine be the first country to win both Eurovision and Junior Eurovision in the same year? Definitely. I would like to see it, but I'm not sure if it will happen, even though I do think it's possible. Then on the 4th place, I've got Spain. I think Spain is sending a good song to Junior Eurovision this year, once again. It's a happy, upbeat, and catchy song, and it's also pretty radio-friendly. I think a top 5 result is realistic for Spain this year. I think a top 3 is also very possible. Then on the 3rd place, I've got Armenia. Look, Armenia is also one of the powerhouses of Junior Eurovision. I think we all know that. And I think Armenia has a chance of being the second country to win a Junior Eurovision edition 2 times in a row. I'm not too sure if they will, but I think it's very possible. I think a top 3 result is very realistic for Armenia this year because they're once again sending a pretty upbeat and radio-friendly and kind of more mainstream song, which I like. And also still kind of has that kid and Junior Eurovision vibe, which I also think is important. Then on the 2nd place, I've got the Netherlands. I feel like the Netherlands has the perfect combination of an upbeat and pretty radio-friendly entry, which is still fitting for the Junior Eurovision demographic and the Junior Eurovision mindset, like a more childlike song. I think lots of people like this because the song is a mood booster and Luna can also perform really well. Also, I think it's possible that the Junior Eurovision victories will kind of show this pattern of a more mainstream entry winning the one year and a more childlike entry winning the next year. And last year, a more mainstream entry won again. And then I feel like the Netherlands could be a fitting winner this year, if that pattern is continuing this year, of course. A second Junior Eurovision victory for the Netherlands, I would love to see it. The Netherlands, which is the country I'm from, ended on the 2nd place when the Junior Eurovision Song Contest was held in Armenia. And I remember being pretty devastated when we didn't win because I expected us to win. So maybe this will be our time to, I don't know, finally win in Armenia. I don't know. But it would also be really fun to see us end up on the 2nd place again, in my opinion. Anyway, I think the Netherlands has a pretty good chance of ending in the top 3. And then on the 1st place, I've got the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom is returning to the Junior Eurovision Song Contest and they're coming back strong, in my opinion. Despite last year's winner being a more upbeat and more mainstream entry, I feel like the United Kingdom has, despite also having a mainstream and more upbeat entry, a big chance of going home with a victory this year. This is a Junior Eurovision song this year that sometimes all of a sudden pops up in my head because the song is very catchy. Though I feel like the lyrics kind of seem like they were written for an older artist, being about a relationship, and that now it's being given to a Junior Eurovision participant and now it's being said that the song is about a friendship, which I don't really think fits the lyrics, but still, I think Freya can do really well and definitely achieve a top 3 result. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing the United Kingdom win the Junior Eurovision Song Contest this year. I think it's very possible that 2023 will be the first year that a country hosts both the Eurovision Song Contest and the Junior Eurovision Song Contest, also despite winning only one of them. And it's also kind of like, they didn't win the Eurovision Song Contest last year, but they still got to host, but at least they did win the Junior Eurovision Song Contest. You get what I mean? I think that would be pretty fun. But anyway, I wouldn't mind any of these entries winning, of course, because, I mean, they all deserve it, in my opinion. I really hope that if a country wins this year, people will kind of think about what they're saying online about a kids contest, because every time I'm amazed by the things that some grown adults will say on the internet about a winner of a Junior Eurovision Song Contest, a kids show, because they aren't happy with the results. I think it's very pathetic behavior, and I hope people finally realize how ridiculous they make themselves look. I wish all of the participants the best at the Junior Eurovision Song Contest. Another thing I'm very excited about during this year's edition is that because it's the 20th edition, there will be an interval act again with previous winners of the Junior Eurovision Song Contest performing their winning songs. Not all of them will be there, but still I'm very excited to see some of the previous winners of earlier years perform their winning Junior Eurovision songs, because it's like a trip down memory lane of back when I, as a kid, used to really follow it, you know? So I'm excited to see that. And of course, other interval acts will be Malena, the winner from last year, and Rosalyn, who represented Armenia at the Eurovision Song Contest and is now going viral on TikTok with her Eurovision entry. I think that's very cool, and I also really liked her performance on James Corden's show. So I'm very excited to see how she'll perform her song Snap at the Junior Eurovision Song Contest. Also, I think the theme, slogan, and stage of this year's Junior Eurovision Song Contest also look very promising. So I'm excited. Let me know what your top 16 of this year's Junior Eurovision Song Contest is in the comment section down below, and what you expect from this year's edition. And that's about all I have to say, I guess. Thanks so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.